Hello and welcome to DC3 Health Talk. I am Brian Mook, and with me today I have a guest from Daystar University. Her name is Susan Botto, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Apart from her name, tell us what she does in Daystar University, and then we can go to our topic that we're going to discuss for today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian, for the opportunity. Like you heard, my name is Susan Botto. I work at Daystar University, where I'm the student counselor. And I also direct a department or coordinate a department called the Daystar Compassion and Care Center, where Brian is also one of our student executives. Actually, he's the president. And so it's the counselors together with the students, we work together to try and see how we can help out other students. We reach out through various psychosocial programs, counseling, support groups, and training of peer counselors. So that is what I mostly do at Daystar. And I am very passionate working with the youth, and I am glad to be on this program. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Susan, for the candid introduction of yourself. So today we are going to talk about addictions, and we are in this COVID-19 era, and we cannot ignore the certain conditions that we live in. So we have seen that during this time when people are staying at home, it's really easy for young people to get pulled into certain addictions. And these addictions have causes, and they have ways to deal with them, and people also relapse at the end of the day. But let's just start from the top. So what do you think are the most likely addictions for students who are staying at home during this time to get pulled into?
Mm. Yeah, so of course it's a very challenging time for everyone. You can imagine, even without COVID, people still struggle with a lot of addiction. And so addictions are mostly a way of escape from any harsh reality. And so now we add COVID to that, and COVID has come with many other things. Like right now, students are out of school. That means they are at home. They have a lot of time to themselves. And so it is very easy to slip into various addictions. And of course, the common ones or the ones we know a lot are alcohol and drug abuse. Again, you have so much time to yourself, or maybe you are frustrated about many things. So alcohol, cigarettes, and any other drug of choice becomes an easy place to slip back into. Another one that we are really seeing an upsurge, and they have really been talking about this. Like right now, there's a lot of internet use. So the internet use is also coming in with a lot of other challenges. So you can have addictions to pornography are really on the increase, are really on the rise. People are at home, they're idle, they're bored, they want entertainment. So porn is becoming one of the biggest ones during this COVID time. And then also just spending too much time on social media. We are on the internet, maybe even if it's not for all the wrong reasons, but you're on there, you're on social media, you're on so many meetings and things like that. So all those are some of the addictions. And then let's not forget a big one in Kenya, gambling. Gambling is also something people are really doing online. So again, that's a big one that people, and that one is not even just online, it's even on your mobile phone. So that is also another major addiction that is on the rise this time. And people are desperate right now for also money, so they're getting into gambling, hoping they can make a few bucks. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are some of the big three that I would say: alcohol, drugs, pornography, and gambling. Those are some of the big ones right now.
Okay, and maybe if we can go to the causes of these addictions, maybe you can touch on the science aspect of it. Is it just because that people have time? Because you've mentioned that even before this COVID, people are still getting addicted. So, what is the science behind somebody getting addicted to something? Is it just a one-time thing that they do, then it causes a ripple effect, or there's underlying issues when it comes to addictions?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the causes, like I've mentioned, of course, environmental factors play a very major role. If you are out of your normal structure or routine of work, and so now you find yourself, you're bored, you're at home, you're locked up, and one of the things that is happening during this time, and that's why you're bringing in the science of it. You know, when the brain is not stimulated enough with work, with whatever other activities that you use, then what happens is that our serotonin and dopamine levels begin to dip. They begin to go low. So people start going into a depression kind of state. And so because of that, you want some adrenaline rush that will keep you feeling active and your brain feeling stimulated. And so that is why people are likely to get into any form of addiction. So we get into it because you want that feel good, you want that feel high, you want to, just increase a bit of your serotonin and dopamine level. And so, and the way addiction works, some drugs like cocaine or heroin or even pornography, the uptake in the brain is so high. Within seconds, it is imprinted on the brain gets the stimulation and the high. And so, of course, who wouldn't want to stay in that high for a long time? And so that is why when you're clicking onto one porn site, you just find yourself going to the next, the next, the next, the next. You just keep on craving for more. Then likewise with drugs, especially the ones which take you up very high, like weed, you just want to keep on being in that state and in that level. So that because right now people are not stimulating themselves with many other things like work or exercise or activities. So their body is beginning to crave for some for some dopamine high. Yes, so that is what is happening to people right now.
Okay, and I'm going to ask a strange question. Do you think that it is possible for somebody to get addicted to something which is positive? Let's say running in the morning. If somebody misses to run, they start feeling weird. Is it possible for a positive addiction?
Yes, it's very possible to get also addicted to things like exercise, running, or again, it still has to do with the dopamine. And so long as you are being able to really stimulate it, you can get that high and that rush. What we also need to be very careful about is that we are not doing things overboard. That's where the element of self-control really comes in. So even if you're jogging or exercising or boxing or any of these things, they can really give you a good rush. And so you have to make sure that you're not going overboard, you're not overdoing it, so that now it doesn't become harmful or destructive to the person. But on the good side is that those are more positive things. We would rather that you're addicted to jogging and
Yeah.
exercising, as opposed to alcohol and drugs. Yeah, it's true. There are those people who cannot do without their daily routine and their daily exercising. So
Oh.
that's for me a more positive thing to deal with than because remember things like alcohol and drugs and porn,
Mhm.
those ones take a lot to be able to come out of them. They're really draining. So
Okay.
those
So
ones take
maybe
much more.
if
Yes.
we can go into that, you're saying it takes a lot for somebody to get out of addictions like drugs and alcohol and maybe gambling. So what are the solutions to somebody who is addicted? What are the possible solutions?
Yeah, so one of the things that people need to do is to kind of reach out. These are habits that you cannot tell yourself, I will stop, I will stop. And there's that lie we always tell yourself, We like to tell ourselves when we are going through an addiction that I will stop today, I will stop tomorrow, I will stop anytime I can. The truth is that you can't. And in fact, when you realize you're saying that a lot and it's not happening, in fact, it keeps on increasing, then you realize now it's really a serious problem. So one of the things we need to do is to get an accountability partner or structure. You need to get to a place where you have somebody who is either checking on you or you are being able to be accountable to someone, so that this person, you tell them, okay, if you see myself, I'm locked in my room for more than 1 hour, it's something else I'm doing in there. So please check on me every 30 minutes, knock on my door or something like that. Or if you see I've gone out for too long, on me or give me accountability measure. You're going to fight it on your own, it's going to be a tall order. No one is that strong, and you're fighting something that has really gotten into your system. You can even work with whether it's your shopkeeper or your barkeeper to tell them, make sure you don't sell me more than a pack today, or I'm not taking more than 2 today, or make sure you don't buy more than 2 bottles today. So you really have to try and go out of your way to find some form of accountability. And then secondly, you also need to get back into a routine or a structure that can work for you. So find out what else can you do. Yes, it's quarantine, it's isolation, it's lockdown. You're in the house most of the hours. What are some of the other activities you can do? You need to give yourself a routine of work or a routine of doing structure. I like the idea of, you said, of exercise. Don't spend too much time in the house. Go take a walk. If you take a walk or you do a jog, you're doing the same job of rising up your dopamine and serotonin levels so that you won't feel like you are craving for alcohol or drugs or um, any other form of addiction. So again, restructure yourself. And I think this is also the best time to try out new skills, because you can decide, I want to take up a musical instrument and learn it. That should motivate you enough or occupy your time enough. Ladies, and not just ladies, anyone, you can say, this is the time I want to learn how to cook some new recipes. Yeah. So you can try and structure yourself to something that will be more engaging and more meaningful, because that lack of structured time and structured routine, like you need to tell yourself, I will make sure by 6 a.m. I have woken up, taken my breakfast. By 9 a.m., I am doing something, I am studying, for example, or I am doing some work, for example, so that you don't have so much unstructured time. When you have unstructured time, you wake up at 10, you feel like, oh, my day is already wasted. I can waste it more by going to get high. So that really messes up things. So try and have a structure. If you feel you're not busy enough, try and take up something challenging, a project or something that you can do that can get you really busy and really involved. That getting busy and involved helps to keep to give you that high that you want without necessarily craving for those things. Yeah, and if it is really serious, then you need to reach out for help. We have counselors. That's why we exist as DC3. And maybe we can be able to share our contact at the end. But if it's really bad, reach out to someone. For our students, we have people like you, fellow students, peer counselors and mentors who have also struggled with all these addictions, and they know what it means, and so they can be able to assist other students. So our DC3 exec is there to reach out to other students. And then we have now the student counselors, who are myself and the others, who we are also here. We are ready to listen and to help you and to walk you through this journey. So don't be afraid to reach out. There's always help. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Maybe I can ask you about the companies now. the industries that are behind the financial muscle that are making sure these products like alcohol and maybe tobacco products and gambling are being really pushed in people's faces in billboards, in advertisements even can find people on phones. So what sort of willpower do young people need so as to not fall into these temptations that are being glamorized or sensationalized in the media, and avoid being addicted?
Yeah, advertising is very powerful. Peer pressure is very powerful. Like all this is really being glamorized in the media or even in social media, as much as like the tobacco control authorities and the alcohol and drug control authorities like NACADA and KETCA, they have really tried to make sure that advertising is minimized. But we know that these are big companies and they will still find ways of reaching out to young people. And nowadays they are coming up with very interesting incentives. Like I had one that they're giving scholarships to students.
Mm.
So of course students will be attracted to it, and who doesn't want the free money? So what I can say is, yes, the willpower, and especially for young people, it's a struggle and it's a challenge. But I think we need to have the end in mind, because if you can just ask yourself, where will this take me? Where will this take me? And I think one of the things we really have to be wise to realize is the deception that is there in, especially things like alcohol and drugs. Because what happens is that you end up having a very wasted life. Let nobody lie to you. Let the media not show you a rich guy in a Range Rover, and he's not, he got there because of no. The reality on the ground is that lives are shattered. They are literally shattered because of such addictions. Families are broken. We hear of domestic violence all the time. We're even seeing the way our young people are being taken advantage of. Um, so there's, I think when we sober up to see the deception that all these addictions end up in distraction, they end up in death or total wasted lives. And so I think that should be the motivation for you not to get into it. For our young students, how many are dropping out of school? How many students are we burying every year? Do you want to be just another statistic? Is it worth your life? Is it worth your future? So I think this is the message we need to really keep on telling our young people in whichever forum, to know that it's not worth it to give in to all these temptations. And I think I go back to the issue of accountability. Look at the kind of friends you have around you, or the kind of people you have around you. Maybe this is the time to really cut off links, or look for at least one accountability partner who you know will keep you in check, so that you don't go overboard. Again, with all these addictions, unless God really helps you, it's hard to just stop overnight. So what you need is to start cutting down, and hopefully gradually you're able to reach a place where you're functional. You don't want that 90% of your day is spent on the internet, or is spent, just drinking and getting wasted. If we can reduce that to at least 30%, so that at least 70% of your day you are productive and doing other things, that's a better place to be.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That is really well put. And maybe let's briefly talk about relapsing. So there are some people or young people, students who are inside, rather let's say caught up in these addictions, and then they made the effort to stop and get help and basically quit, but there's the issue of relapsing. So what measures should they take to make sure that they do not relapse? Is it just basically changing the environment, the way you're saying about cutting links, or what more can they do?
Okay. So first of all is to appreciate that relapsing is part of recovery. Okay,
Mhm.
so relapse sometimes is not necessarily a very bad thing. It still shows that you're human, you're struggling, and like I was saying, it's not. It's very few people are able to just stop any addiction overnight. So because of that, you'll find that you have 1 week where you have really tried and you have not, um, you have not, either watched the porn or taken the drugs. Then one thing happens one day and you're back at it again. So relapsing is part of recovery. The thing is actually the attitude after you relapse. It's the attitude after you go back to that drug or go back to that addiction. What are you telling yourself in your mind? Are you saying, okay, this thing, I am so hopeless, I might as well give up, you know? Or are you telling yourself, okay, I'm struggling with this, I fell, but I can still make it. I can still do it. In fact, this time round, I'm not having only one accountable partner, I am having two. This time round, I am making sure I am in my house and I'm not going out at all. Or I'm not buying all this whiskey and storing it up in the house. This week I will try even much harder. So first of all, the attitude. It's first of all the attitude even after you relapse. And then again, we just go back to what we have said before. It means that you really need to tighten. You need to tighten your system in terms of, is it friends? Is it the time that is unstructured? Is it the environment that you're in? I know sometimes people have to, you decide, I will go to Ushago, if you have an Ushago, or I will go to, a relatives where I know I will not pass by that cigarette person, or I will not pass by, that place. Or you will go to Ushago where there is no internet. And so that temptation to be on the internet throughout will not be there. So the relapse is likely to happen, but it's the attitude that you have after it and whether you're willing to keep on trying to get up, to keep moving forward. Yes. So I think that is where we need to help ourselves. That relapse does not mean that, okay, now you give up, like this thing is too hard. No, it means you keep on trying and you keep on moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. I think that discussion has been really candid, and maybe hopefully, not even hopefully, I know people will get something out of this. So thank you very much for your time. I know with sometimes with working from home, work can really be overloaded. So I hope you're keeping safe, and I hope everybody, the dear viewer back at home, you're also keeping safe. And stay home, sanitize, wear your mask when you're out in public. And let's meet in the next episode for yet another DC3 Health Talk. See you then.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye
Stay
bye.
safe. God bless. Yes. And prayer also works. Above all, put God first. God can help you manage any addiction or any struggle that you're going through right now. And we as the counselors are there to also help you. Yes. Brian will give you our contact.
Yes, I will
Bye bye.
leave the contacts right at the end of this video. So put God first and stay safe. Until next time.